Puede pasar ahí, está la cámara. A mí no me gusta que venga ese tipo de camión. Aparte de ladrón, el hijo de la verga tarda mucho, güey. Hasta que no le toda las hojas, güey. Que llegar abajo, me tapen las llamas. Espérense, espérense, señor, así. Ya los estará acabando. Mira la foto, güey. Va a volver a hacer su madre, güey. Va a subir, va a subir. Está bien pesado. Sí, güey. No ve cómo está la señora, güey. Yo les pongo, güey. Sí, güey, necesito la del cajón, güey.
Gentlemen, can we get to the camera? We'll need to push by it and then ask you to come back up home. Let's go all the way to the grave, gentlemen.
Folks, I need everyone over this way. We are about to begin our service. Folks, I need everyone over past the chairs, please. We're going to ask the family to be seated by the chairs. Okay, everyone, family is to be seated by the chairs, please. We'll ask that everyone please take a moment to turn your cell phones to their quiet mode before we begin. Conducting our service today is Cantor Pavel Reutman, accompanied by Rabbi Zachary Silver. Adonai, Adam Vatedayehu, Beineno, Vadakashivehu, Adam Lahevel Dama, Yamav Kiseh, בבוקר יציץ וחלק, לא ערב ימולל ויובש, כושף אנוש, הדתה, ותאמר, שובו, שובו, בני אדם. Friends, we have gathered here today for a sad occasion. We have come to bid our final farewell to Elena Tarasov, a beloved sister, mother, grandmother, and friend. A wonderful woman who is going to be missed by many. At this time, our thoughts and sympathies go to Elena's family. We pray that God gives them strength and courage at this time of grief. As it has been our custom, we begin with the recitation of passages and psalms appropriate for this occasion. These readings have been a source of comfort and spiritual guidance to those who came before us, and today we too turn to their time-tested wisdom and insight. Adonai ma'adam v'tedayechu. Lord, what are we that you have regard for us? What are we that you are mindful of us? We are like breath. Our days are as a passing shadow. We come and go like grass, which in the morning shoots up renewed, and in the evening fades and withers. You cause us to revert to dust, saying, return, O mortal creatures. Would that we were wise, that we understood whither we are going. For when we die, we carry nothing away. Our glory does not accompany us. Mark the wholehearted and behold the upright. They shall have peace, Lord. You redeem the soul of your servants, and none who trust in you shall be desolate. Rabbi Tarfon taught the day short, the task is great. The workers are sluggish, their reward is bountiful, and the master is insistent. You are not obliged to finish the task, but neither are you free to abandon it. If you have studied much Torah, you will earn great reward, for a master is sure to repay you with your efforts. But know that the reward of the righteous is reserved for some future time. A good person, though taken from us too soon, will rest in peace. For honor in old age does not come from length of life. Honor in old age does not come from length of years. Understanding is the gray hair of humanity. A blameless life is ripeness of age. Perfection in limited years is like living for many years. So a good person, though taken from us too soon, will rest in peace. Let us then, with peace of mind, let that good soul rest. We will now recite the words of Psalm 23. And if you happen to have a service booklet in your hands, it should be printed on the booklet. Adonai roi lo echsa bino deshe yarbitzeni al mei menucho yinachaleni nafshi shovev yishovev Yancheni v'maglei tzedek, Yancheni v'maglei tzedek, leman shemo, Am ki elech v'gei tzal mavet, lo yirah ki ata imadi, shiftecha umishantecha ema, hinachamoni. Tarov lefanai shulchan neged tzorerai, dishanta vashemen roshi, kosi revaya, achtof vachesed, yerdefuni, kol yemei chayai, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. אדוני רואי לא אחסר. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures, he leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul, he guides me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. If I were to choose one word that would highlight the essence of Elena's life, I would choose the word love. For it is that very word that came up the most during my conversation with Elena's children several days ago. It was as if she wore a symbol of love itself, manifest by her care and kindness that she bestowed on her loved ones every day of her life. It says in King Solomon's Song of Songs, "Many waters cannot quench love." The meaning of this phrase is simple. It means that the true love never goes away regardless of life's tough, unrelenting ticking. Even when challenged, love endures and perseveres. Those of you who knew Elena in life knew that hers was that kind of love, one that endured in spite of the challenges that she faced, and one that she generously shared with those around her and the world. And today, with her untimely passing, her loving presence will be sorely missed by all those she cared about and loved. Leo, Cheryl, Emily will miss their mother and mother-in-law's loving care and support the most. To them, she was their best friend and confidant, and her presence in their lives was essential and important. Yelena's grandchildren, Alia and Aria, who loved their babushka very much and who used to spend many a night at her house, will also miss her dearly. They will remember Elena as their guardian angel, who will watch over them from heaven. Elena's brother Michael and his family too will remember Elena fondly. Throughout his life, Michael had a job of being Elena's big brother and protector, supporter, and friend. It was a job that he was truly proud of and one that he will now cherish forever in his heart and in the memories and stories of her. There are so many stories and just as many memories of Elena's life. They all paint a beautiful picture of a wonderful woman who, by her words and her deeds, surely left a mark on this earth. Elena's life was tragically cut short, and yet it was a full and meaningful life in which she achieved a lot. Coming to America as an immigrant, she established professionally and had a successful career at the Absolute Financial Services. Endeared to her many co-workers and friends, Elena enjoyed and appreciated the relationships and friendships that she built, as she was appreciated and loved in return. A socialite, Elena presided over the weekly gatherings, meditations, and lectures at her house on Thursdays. She truly enjoyed those gatherings, and the experience made her happy and content. But of course, her biggest joy and her main achievement in life was her family, her children and grandchildren. It was in them that she found true happiness and joy, and it is in their memories that she will now live as an everlasting presence for many years to come. Jewish tradition teaches us that one should not count the days of one's life, but instead make every day count. Elena lived a short but full and meaningful life, and she surely made her every day count by her many acts of kindness and of love. May the memory of this wonderful woman be a blessing for many years to come. And we say, Amen. I did not have the honor of knowing Elena in life, but there were people around her who really did know her, knew her well. And I specifically refer to her children, and this now Leo and Emily that I invite to share a few words about their mother. Emily.
I've been told several times, I'm so sorry for your loss. This is not a loss. She is right here with me in my heart. She's with all of us in our hearts. My mom is my biggest inspiration and my role model. We traveled the world together. She was there for me in my toughest times, and I was there for hers. She's my best friend. single person she knew. But most importantly, she loved her family. I know everyone does, but my mom did everything in her life for us. If something was out of reach, she figured out a way to get it. She has made an impact on every person she meets. You were taken from us so tragically and unfairly, but I know your soul is now at peace and with God, and you will live through us. She is also the most vibrant, beautiful, courageous, and incredible person I know. My sweet mama, I know you will be watching over me forever, and I love you forever.
Oh, I wrote something, but we'll see how it goes. Where does one begin to start to describe the life of someone? There will never be enough hours in a day or a year to describe my mom, my best friend, my mamachka. Babushka. Yeah. COVID has robbed us of an amazing person we will never ever get back. Mom was loved by so many. She enjoyed life to the fullest, and her family meant everything to her. From a very early age, it was hard and I, it was her and I, but I never felt I missed out. She was my best friend. She taught me everything. What it is to be a parent, to give the world, to give the world to your kids. Everything she did for us. Every week, she took Aaliyah and Arya to her house. Not because she had to, because she wanted to. Because she was their babushka. She would FaceTime them just to say hi and that she loved them. She was their everything. Yes, her and I didn't see eye to eye sometimes, but that's because she always wanted what was best for her baby and what was best for me. It wasn't until I became a parent that I truly understood the sacrifices that she had made for me in her entire life. She always made it look easy for me. She made being a grandma look easy. She would often tell us people that the girls were hers. She would often tell people that the girls were hers, not her grandbabies. Our daughters were her girls. She loved them so, so much. The bond that they had was so special and something that they will cherish forever. Мамочка моя, мамочка моя миленькая, ты не мог поверить, эти 30 дней, когда ты мне сказала, что ты тестит positive for COVID. Это 30 дней сегодня прошло. Это nightmare. 30 дней мы должны были жить с тобой, со всеми. 30 дней, когда я никогда не забуду. Mama's Kamaya, I love you so much. I love you so much. I will cherish every memory that we had. Every memory that we had. I will pass it on to your grandkids, to Aliyah and Arya. And they will remember their Baba forever. And I will pass your memories, and all your friends and all your family will always cherish the memories they had with you. And they will tell stories about you because you had made a lot of people so proud, so happy. You made a lot of people's lives. You brought joy to them. You brought everything to them because that's the person you were and are and will always be. And now you're gonna watch over us and be there with us in spirit every day. I love you, Mom. I love you very much. And I'll be here with you all the time.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Emily, for those really moving words. My name is Rabbi Zachary Silva. I had the privilege to know Elena because she's obviously the mother of Emily and Leo, the loving mother of the high school which Emily went to. In the spring of her sophomore year, Emily transferred to our school, Rochelle Jewish High School. But this transfer was more than a one-person, one-student switch of schools. Emily transferred because of her mother, Elena's fierce belief in her daughter. After coming back from a life-changing experience spending a semester in Israel at Alexander Moss High School in Israel, Emily told her teacher at GVN, her Hebrew teacher, that she was thinking about transferring to this Jewish high school. He said, perhaps, wait a little bit. See if you might just have that Israel fever still inside of you. Wait to make sure it's real. But Elena, who knows Emily best, recognized the fire that Emily had to continue her Jewish studies, and very, very quickly they toured the school. By the spring of her sophomore year, Emily was a member of the class of 2020. And the school quickly became a part of Elena's life as well. She loved coming into the school, being in the halls. She loved this on her own terms, in addition to the love of her daughter. And she also deeply admired Emily's devotion to Jewish learning and Jewish living, her dedication to her studies, and the friends she made. The support and love of her kids was not new at all. This was just the next opportunity for her to show her support, her unending support of Emily and Leo, and later of Cheryl, Aaliyah, and Aria. This unyielding support was the defining characteristic of her life. Elena Tarasov encountered many setbacks in her life. She was born in Siberia, where her father served in the army at the time. She loved her childhood, Emily said, the daughter of two incredibly loving parents, brother Michael, who she continued to be close with here in Chicago. Shortly after the fall of the Soviet Union, as a young woman, she moved from Latvia with her young family and made the decision to immigrate to Chicago, escaping from the rampant anti-Semitism where she had grown up. As a new immigrant, learning the new language and culture, she built a new business from scratch, serving in that business throughout her life, throughout her time in Chicago. When I asked Emily what she most admires about her mother, she very quickly stated that it was her strength. She inspires me to be strong, she said. Despite the setbacks, she showed incredible love and care for all of her loved ones. That inspires me to want to do that as well, Emily said. She would do anything in her power for me. Hosting friends and family gave Elena particular joy each week. Whether with family of blood or family of choice, particularly her dear friends, the Apekar and Aristakishian families, I apologize for mispronouncing your names, who she had been friends with since her time in Latvia. Elena loved opening up her home to friends. She filled it with tasty food, and above all, the love of a family filled with those she cares most about. In our junior Talmud class, we study a unit on the Jewish concept of chesed. Through a close reading of the story of Abraham and his welcoming of guests, the rabbis of the Talmud note, Jolah haknasat orchin mahakolat pnei Shekhinah. Greater is welcoming guests, even than welcoming the face of God. Elena's opening up of her home, your mother's opening up of her home, on Shabbat, on other days, was nothing less than godly, an expression of her continued efforts to reach beyond herself throughout her life, a sign of her strength and determination to bring joy to those she cared most about. In turn, Moses Maimonides, the Rambam, describes chesed as giving in excess, either giving more than someone deserves or giving when someone does not deserve it at all. This act of chesed, of selfless giving, models God's ultimate gift of creating the world, giving in excess to humanity the gift of life. Elena gave and gave and gave. She was fiercely determined, particularly toward her family. Life was often not easy, and she always prioritized those around her. Her strength, in turn, has inspired her children and all those who knew her to carry this legacy forward. May her memory be for a blessing. I invite Cantor Reitman to honor her memory with the El Malay Ratami.
Thank you, Rabbi, for your beautiful words.
Shotein Bamromi. Am se menukane kona takas kan kashkina. Malor gedoshim utvorim ki zoraraki amasiri. Nishma Elena Baro Yakireki Shekala Kale Olama Megane El Kemenukata Anabala Rakami Astirek Besedar Kinafek Olami Utsror Mitzror Kakayimet Nishmata Adonai Kuna Kalata Vitano Vishalom al Mishkava Vinoma Amen. Friends, many of you can see that I'm holding this bag in my hands. This is a bag that contains something that refers to in Hebrew as afar, that could be translated as dust or earth. This is not just any earth. This earth comes to us from Mount of Olives from Jerusalem, and this is a very special, very holy place for our people. We know that Elena was very fond of Judaism, and she supported Emily in studying and in attending Jewish high school. And we are going to deposit this earth as a symbol. First, as a symbol of our connectedness to the land of Israel, where our ancestors came from, but also as a metaphysical hope that at the time of Mashiach, Messiah, when all the righteous will be gathered right there in Jerusalem, that Elena's soul will join them. And so now I'm going to deposit the earth. This next custom that we're going to fulfill today is referred to often as Chesed Emet, the true and the ultimate mitzvah. One of the reasons for that is because this particular mitzvah is something that we do for our loved one and something that she cannot do, she cannot thank us for or return the favor. The way we're going to fulfill this mitzvah is to put 3 shovels of earth on top of the casket. And the way we're going to do this, in Eastern Europe, there's a tradition of turning the shovel upside down as to indicate that this is not something natural for us to do. We are reluctant to do this, but yet this is something that we need to do to honor Elena and to help her pass on. And so I'm going to show you an example. If you have gloves, you can use, you have to wear your gloves, and you have to use your gloves to do this. Is there a shovel?
There, yeah. Can I have 2 shovels, please?
So I'll show you an example, and then you can follow me. After you're finished, please leave the shovel here. Don't pass it on, and go to your original place so we can remove it.
Again, we must insist that you please wear your gloves when handling the shovel. If you do not have gloves, you can use your bare hands and take 3 measures of earth from the mound instead. At this time, we're going to invite the immediate family to come forward first and participate. We will also ask that everyone please be very mindful of your footing near the edge of the grave. Anyone else who'd like to participate, please come forward.
Big man.
Folks, once again, once you've participated, please return to where you were standing before.
Friends, if you can go back to your original place just so that we could let the workers do their job here on the left-hand side, please. Thank you.
Folks, we're going to ask everyone to step back over where they were, please.
Leo and Alan is Russian. He has conservation
The cottage cards in the temple, please.
Thank you.
In English. Transliteration.
Thank you.
Folks, and we're still filming. I'm going to ask everyone to move out of the view of the camera, please.
there's a beautiful story of creation in the Torah. And in that story, God first makes the figure from clay, from earth. And then God does something very interesting. God breathes into the form, the lifeless form, the soul. And this tells us that every human being has a body and a soul. And it is the body that we give back to earth today, but the soul will live on, and hopefully on her way to Gan Eden, where she will be watching over us for many years to come. We now conclude with the words of the Kaddish. Theo and Emily, you have the words in front of you. I'm going to help you. Please join me. Yidgadal, V'yitkadash, Shmei Rabba,
Amen.
V'alma, Yivra, Shirutei, V'yamlich Malchutei, V'chayekon, Uvyomekon, Ulechaye, Bechol Beit Yisrael, V'agala, V'zman, Tarif, V'meru, Amen. Yeh Shmei Rabba, V'orach, Le'olam, U'lemei Almaya, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yifar, V'yitroman, V'yitnaseh, ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתגלל, שמי לקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמה וינורו אמן, יהי שלמה רבה נשמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל וינורו אמן, עושה שלום וברמה, ועשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. Amen.
Amen.
Leo, Emily, Cheryl, Michael. Above all, what I want you to know right now is to look around. There's the hundreds of other people looking on virtually in this time of so much pain. People are here for you, and you are not alone. There's a traditional mourning custom where we wish comfort to the mourners, and I invite us all to repeat after me. Hamakom, Yinachem, Etchem, B'tov, Shahar, Adlei, Zion, Yerushalayim. May Elena's memory be bound up in the bound and blessing. Wish you so much comfort, and we're here for you. We're here for you during this difficult time. And we're here for you throughout it all. The latest one.
Our service has ended. Thank you very much, everyone. You can either remain with the families or go back to your house. Thank you.